Hey everybody, it's Professor Hatch. I am here to talk about scholarly peer-reviewed journals, how to find actually sources from scholarly peer-reviewed journals, which you will be, for this class, you'll be required to find from our school library's academic database. Google Scholar, not allowed. Nothing wrong with Google Scholar, but I want you to use our school library's academic database. There are several databases. We're going to be focusing on one for what we're doing today. And I've recorded a separate video for how to put together an annotated bibliography. Um, this is literally just to show you how to find sources. So let me share my screen. Okay, this is RCC's beautiful homepage. If you go here under student support and then go over to the left, you'll see a link for the library. Click on that, please. And if you click on databases A through Z, it'll take you to this list. There, as you can see, there are 94 databases. The only one I'm going to show you today, the only one you'll really need to use for this class should be Academic Search Complete. JSTOR is another good one, but honestly, Academic Search Complete is just about all I ever used. And this is something that if you are doing this from home, if you're doing it on campus, then you're automatically going to be logged in. But if you're doing it from home, you have to put in your email address, your RCC email address. And then once you submit that, it logs you in and it gives you some message about a proxy, which whatever, I don't know. Anyway, I think in English 1A as it currently exists, you only really have to find scholarly peer-reviewed sources for the research paper and for the persuasive essay. The persuasive essay, you have to find two sources from academic journals. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to talk about that. The assignment for the persuasive essay is racism has not changed in America in the last 100 years. And then you have to either agree or disagree with that. So first thing, I guess, let's just put in an incredibly broad search term, just racism, right? 31,000, almost, yeah, 31,100. Let's narrow that down a little bit. Here's an awesome hint from the search engine in the United States or America or USA or US. So I'm going to put that in and then I'm going to search again. That knocks it down by more than half. That's 13,100, which is great. And then, okay, as you can see, we've got a lot of different areas to look at. But before we even start looking at these titles, you need to go down here. Over here to the left, you'll see a box where it says full text. Just leave that checked, but two below that is peer reviewed. And I'm putting a check in there, and you'll see that that knocks us down even more to 5,500 sources, which is great. And then lastly, it goes from 1954 to 2023. The truth of the matter is, I don't give a damn what anyone has to say about racism in the 50s or the 60s, 70s, blah, blah, blah. So I always tell students to limit your research to the last 10 years. So in 2013, finally, this whittles us down to 3,600. They're just under 3,700 sources. And obviously, you're not going to look through all of that. So racial ethnic disparities and psychological distress during the COVID-19 pandemic in the United States, the role of experienced discrimination and perceived racial bias. That actually seems like an article that might have a lot to say about what racism currently is in this country. Dante and America's Race Problem, that could be a lot more specific. Racial, ethnic, socioeconomic disparities and multiple measures of blue and green spaces in the United States. I think that might be a health thing, which is great. I'm going to open that up too. I'm just opening these in new tabs. So let's look at the first one. First thing you're going to do is go down here to the abstract and background research on mental health disparities by race, ethnicity in the United States during COVID-19 is limited and has generated mixed results. And then it goes on a bit. This actually looks like it has quite a bit to say about health disparities and mental health disparities along ethnic lines in the last several years, given that we are, oh God, what is this? 3+ years now after COVID became a life-altering thing and a life-ending thing for a lot of people. So anyway, this looks like a good source. This looks like it could be a good source. The next thing you want to do, go over here. You can either go to the HTML or the PDF. Personally, I always just go to the PDF and click on it. And then over at the top here, you'll see this downward pointing arrow. Just click on that and download the thing. Excuse me. I've been doing this so much that my voice is starting to go. Download the thing so you know you have it on your computer. It's just best not to have to try to find this thing again. Also, I will point out that it titles it something stupid like retrieve. So you might want to actually retitle it, like just rename the file to whatever it is here, racial, ethnic disparities, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, the abstract is all right up here again, and then the intro is here. You can start reading through, just scanning through. Probably the thing you want to do, honestly, is scroll down to results and see what they found in the study. And then if it looks interesting, you can go back and read more. You also might want to look at discussion. In any case, conclusions is another good thing to look at. And then the rest of this after that is all just like footnotes, or not footnotes, but references, which in using MLA format is what we call the works cited page. In any case, let's actually look at that real quick. So look at all these references. It lists 68 different references in the writing of this article. And many of these references, I'm going to just expand the zoom here. Many of these references are going to be from other peer-reviewed academic journals. Many, maybe all. Okay, so one of the things that is, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute. One of the reasons I ask you, one of the reasons professors in general ask you to use scholarly peer-reviewed sources is because anyone can say anything they want without the rigor of academic publishing. Scholarly, peer-reviewed, the peer-reviewed part of that, what that means is if I write an article about, I don't know, let's just say if I write an article about racism during the COVID, the 2 years after COVID, I could just be making any kind of shit up. And I submit this article to a publication so that they publish it. And then before they publish it, they're going to send that thing out to people I do not know who are also experts in the same field I am. I'm not an expert in any of this stuff. I'm an expert, I suppose, in literature, but you get the idea. If I'm writing this article, they are going to find other experts in my field, and they're going to say, please read this guy's study and make sure he's not talking out his ass. And then they're going to do that with, like, you know, ideally several different peers of mine or colleagues who I may know, probably don't know. And they're just going to check my work and make sure that I'm not talking out. You might have kids there, that I'm not just making stuff up. They're going to make sure that I'm not completely high. And then after it gets through them, the journal will say, cool. Then it looks like it's a good bit of writing. We'll publish it. Now, if you don't go through that process, you can say anything you want. Same people who write these articles sometimes get interviewed by the media, and then the media will take something they say. The problem is when they are not subjected to the rigors of academic publishing, which they are not when they're being interviewed by someone from the media. They can say whatever nonsense comes to their mind. And the journalist hopefully will recognize nonsense when they see it, but they don't always. And then the editor frequently doesn't recognize it. And the next thing you know, you have some nonsense thing like the Midwest is going to be under 6 feet of snow by 2030, when that's just not the case. There's a very similar story to this, by the way. I'm not making this up. This is something that actually happened. A climate scientist was interviewed by a journalist. The journalist should have checked the nonsense that the climate scientist said, and the editor should have told him to do that, but none of them did that. And then all of a sudden, this news story about how the Midwest was going to be under a mountain of snow wound up getting circulated all over various blogs, and it became a very hotly talked about topic of discussion. And it was nonsense. This was years ago, by the way. You'll notice that the Midwest is not under a mountain of snow. Anyway, that's why it is important to use scholarly peer-reviewed sources when you are writing for an academic essay. You need to make sure that the sources you are using to back up the claims you are making in your essay aren't bullshit. Plain and simple. So that's why we do that. Going back to sharing my screen, I'm not even sure if I need to share my screen, but going back to sharing my screen, looking at this other one, again, the PDF is over here on the left. You can go down here and look at the abstract and see whether or not this is going to be something that helps you. I'm not going to read the abstract. I just wanted to point out that you will always have you'll always have some version of the thing here that you can download it to your hard drive. You can always read the abstract. If there is no abstract, probably you're not dealing with a great source or a great journal. There should always be an abstract. However, if there's not, you can always click on the PDF and then see if there's anything in the first couple paragraphs that looks promising. And another way to tell that something is going to be a good, solid bit of research, or I don't know, a good solid bit of writing, is to just scroll down to the references. And once again, how many references are here? 46. So again, this is not someone who's half-assing their work. This is someone who is making several claims in this article, and they are backing it up with the words of other experts in the field. So this is why we use scholarly peer-reviewed sources or journals for our sources. And that's how you find it. If you want to look it up for some other topic for a different class, then I don't know, let's just say you want to look up problems with the environment. Maybe you'll type in the term environment, and then maybe to narrow that down, you'll talk about environment in the Pacific Northwest or the environment in Alaska or whatever. You get the idea. All right, I feel like this has gone on way too long, but that's how you find an academic source. So if you have questions, obviously, as always, text me on Remind, and I'll be happy to help you out. Also, and I've said this in other videos too, the research librarians are magical, beautiful creatures. Take advantage of them. They are amazing, and they know more about research than I ever will. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.